jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Members of the jury, are these your unanimous verdicts? Is there anyone who does not agree with the verdicts as read? Would you wish the jury poll? No. Okay.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Cam Williamson, and we have a verdict. You guys just saw it in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Kyle Rittenhouse found not guilty on all 5 remaining counts that ended at the beginning of the trial. All right. So, here we go. Let's get into it. The jury made it all the way through deliberations. So, the mistrials never came to be anything. At the very last thing that happened, the judge, even after Kyle was removed, after, announced not guilty, we all knew that was coming because of what was going on outside. He was removed, and then the judge pretty much said, hey, we had 2 motions for mistrial, 1 with prejudice. Defense is pulling those. Got it. Everyone left the room. So there we go. In the United States, if you're convicted or if you're charged with a crime, you have the right to a trial by a jury of your peers. Regardless of what a piece of paper says, regardless of what I think about it, regardless of what anyone who agreed with me or opposed with my opinions throughout the duration of this case, none of that matters, right? I'm glad we all got to have the conversation. I'm glad we all got to say what we observed, and I think now that the legality part of it is over, as far as like what can be seen, what can't be seen, I think we're going to see a lot more. I think we're going to have access to a lot more. The very last thing the judge said was to the jurors, you're not obligated to talk to anybody about the case now or at any time in your lives, but you can at this point. And then I think he said you have to contact them. They cannot contact you, I think is what he said, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, I stand in the fact that I still have concerns for the message that this sends, right? Now, again, I'm always willing to learn, and I'm always willing to grow, and that's why I'm willing to have these conversations and take the heat that's undoubtedly going to come my way now that he was found not guilty. Remember, I started talking about all this. I think the very first sentence out of my mouth about all this was, I do not want to see this kid go to prison. I said, I think he's going to, based off what I said, or based off what I saw, and then I justified my observations and what I saw and what I thought. I'm not going to apologize for that, right? Just because the other jurors found me to be incorrect. Okay, he's not guilty. I don't lose anything. I'm not going to jail for that. But I'm glad we can all have the conversation. The lesson to be learned at the end of it all is, and the reason I have concerns is when a situation like this arises again, which I think we're slightly encouraging it to, I hope that if nothing else, lawmakers everywhere realize how vague our system is and how open to interpretation some things are. And I think more importantly, throughout this trial, we really learned that media sources cannot be trusted. Mainstream media sources with agendas, because I watched clips from Fox News this whole time and I watched clips from CNN this whole time, and they're both bold-faced liars. If you look, neither one of them actually talk about the case. Both of them smash on what the other person's interpretation is of the case, which is usually making it about race or something that it's not. I still don't, from what I've seen, understand how they came to a not guilty verdict, but I'm in no way upset that they did, right? But again, I'm not claiming that I've seen everything. I have so much time in my day. This caught my radar when it did, and I followed it like a hawk. You can ask my family. I literally followed every single second that I could and gave it my best observation as I could. And I hope you guys enjoyed the process. I can't say that I'm upset, especially in retrospect, right? Let's all talk in retrospect. So who did he kill? He killed a child molester. Okay? Is anyone upset about that? Was anyone upset when they found that out? I'm not saying it's a good thing for anyone to die. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in retrospect, after everything was found out, was anyone claiming that Joseph Rosenbaum was a hero? I don't think so. The people were. I saw it in the protests that were outside the courthouse. No reasonable person, knowing what they knew, would claim that Joseph Rosenbaum was any sort of hero at all. I tried my best throughout this process to not treat either defendant or shooting, whatever they were allowed to call him in court, that wasn't a victim, which now you see why, because he's not found guilty. Rosenbaum is not a victim for his actions. Rosenbaum was an asshole. Rosenbaum was stupid for running after Kyle. Remember, my observations only come in for what was. What was. I tried my very best not to allow anything else to come into my observation of the situation. There you go. Maybe I failed at that. I don't know. But it is what it is, and I'm interested now to see what happens. I don't see how Kyle Rittenhouse has a normal life after this. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? He's not a felon. He's allowed to have a firearm. Now he's 18. I could imagine there's going to be some parades, some big-time sponsorship deals, stuff like that. I could imagine that's in his near future. But I could also imagine they might just tuck out somewhere. I don't know if he's going to want to deal with anything that may come his way as a result of all this, because of the misinformation that was put out. Again, I don't know of anybody that would be mad just because a dude's found not guilty. Unless you added all the other shit into it, who would be mad? The only guy that died who isn't a known piece of shit is known as Unknown Man. Well, no, that's not true. You had the other guy, the girlfriend's boyfriend that came in right after. Skateboard guy hit him, then guy jumps. Kyle shot him, so there was that guy. But there was the unarmed guy, or unnamed guy that they kept talking about. So much of it, man. So many details. Details matter. Details matter. And I guess this shows you. This is what the standard is moving forward. I still think it's a dangerous one. You have unarmed versus armed. And you're not required for any sort of contact to be made before you can shoot. Okay. I'm just saying, if somebody else is found guilty later, I wouldn't be surprised if, like this judge did and referenced 80,000 cases throughout this one, that this one's not brought up and go, well, what about this one? Remember, too, the state that things happen in makes a big deal. I think if this was done in California, or a lot of other more liberal places, this isn't the case. A lot of people accuse me of being liberal. A lot of people accuse me of not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. Hey, it's clear that maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's for everyone who watches my shows to judge for themselves, right? But I ask that you at least watch the whole thing. Don't just watch clips of it and then assume you know who I am, right? I love you guys. I'm taking a pause for this week. It's been a lot. And I will be back on Monday with you guys. Love you so much.